Well, good evening everyone. I've got a quick little video for you. Last week I took the 302 engine block from this truck into the machine shop, and we're gonna have that thing punched out 30 over and just totally gone through. I don't know when I'm gonna get that back, but it's at the shop now. And I took the cylinder heads in also. I wanted to have them check those out, and just from their initial, like just looking at them, they can tell that they need some work. So I kind of figured that was going to be the deal. And they even from my eyes, they look like they need some work. So I figured I'd take those in, have everything just matched up to the engine block. If the cylinder heads end up being total junk and they can't fix them, then I'm just going to get some AFR heads for the engine. That'll probably be a lot nicer anyways. But yeah, the block and the heads are at the machine shop. They're gonna do all the work to it and get that, hopefully get everything all squared away, and then we can start putting together an engine for this truck. In the meantime, I have some stuff for this truck. I've got some gauges I want to start putting in. There's a couple others I'm gonna order. I want to put an AFR gauge in this for sure. And I have some window trim I want to put in, and some rear quarter interior panels that have holes for speakers, factory mounted speakers. So I want to get that in there, and yeah, just start getting back to working on this truck and getting it to where I like it. And then eventually I'm gonna get rid of this canopy. That's gonna come off. I'm probably gonna just put that back on Marketplace and sell it. What I want to do is actually get a tonneau cover for this, because I want a cover on it, but I don't like a canopy on a long bed truck. And I originally put that on there because we were going to use this truck for the Gambler 500 last year, but we ended up taking Betty because that was pretty much just ready to go. I just had to put new tires on it, and that was it. Yeah, it'd be nice to get this truck rolling again. I love how it drives. I put these Bilstein shocks in there. We put airbags in the back for helper airbags. It's got front and rear sway bars. It's 4-wheel drive. It's got a 5-speed in it. I mean, it was just absolutely wonderful. And then, oh, pardon the garage. It's a disaster. But what happened was, this freeze plug was behind the engine mount, and yeah. And I made it halfway home, and then the engine locked up. So, yep, that was kind of my fault. But you know what? This engine's going to be in a lot better shape when we get it back, get it put together. Once I get the engine back and we get it, get a long block put together, get the heads on there and everything, I'm going to look at possibly doing either long tube headers, or I'll probably do shorty headers, to be honest. I'm going to look at those. For now, I was just gonna run my quick fuel 450. This was a nice carburetor upgrade. And it ran a lot nicer with this than the Edelbrock I had on there. And then I don't know what I did with it. There's the intake and valve covers, oil pan, oil pump, and it's gonna get a high volume, high flow oil pump. I'm still gonna run an HEI distributor, but I'm gonna get a Pertronix unit. It's a lot nicer than what I had on here before. So that's on the list. I'm gonna run the same intake manifold. I'm gonna clean up the oil pan, and check for any imperfections in that, and then I'm gonna reuse that. Flywheel and clutch. Another accidente, probably. Flywheel and clutch are brand new. I'm gonna reuse that. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now with this project. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll get an engine back to put together and get it back in the truck and continue on with wrapping up this truck. Yeah, and then of course the mirrors. I got to do something with the mirrors. That's just goofy. I thought about actually putting the Super Duty mirrors on it, especially because I can set it up for power and heat. So I'd probably lose my wing windows, but to be honest, the wing windows on this truck are kind of goofed up. So if I lost those, it wouldn't be too big of a deal. And plus, this truck has working air conditioning, whereas that truck doesn't. So yeah, that's where we're at, and yeah. I think I'm gonna wrap up this video. I wanted to get something out for you. Everybody's just in a hurry today, just full throttle. It's on, off, you know. Anyway, Sibs, I'm gonna go edit this video, and it's my last day off from work, and then I gotta go back to work. So I can get this video done, up, and then that's it. So yeah, stay tuned. We got fun stuff coming up with this truck.